Well, the big weekend is upon us. The Children's Miracle Network Telethon. It all starts live here tomorrow night at 9 o'clock with all kinds of activities set for Sunday, starting off with a pancake breakfast in the hangar beginning at 7 o'clock. Joe Zone's Miracle Mile Trot beginning at 11:40. And, of course, Miss Judy's Carnival at 10 o'clock with all kinds of jam-packed, exciting acts. And the feature attraction, Jimmy Osmond, will be there in person starting at noon till 2 p.m., meeting and greeting you and signing autographs. So it's a fun-filled weekend. We'll see you at the Telethon beginning tomorrow night and all day Sunday. Gesinger Medical Center in Danville. Now it's Newswatch 16 next.
Good evening, I'm Nolan Johannes.
And I'm Karen Harch. Tonight in the news...
I'm Bob Costantini. Car exhaust inspections have begun in Lehigh and Northampton counties.
An unbearable story in Dunmore. I'm Marisa Burke. I'll tell you more.
I'm Mike Stevens in Bushkill. A basket full of baskets. Later on the Pennsylvania Road.
Tom Clark has a weekend worth waiting for.
And Joe Zone trains for the Miracle Mile.
All next on Newswatch 16. The city of Scranton has been having trouble lately with buildings collapsing. Officials say they'll be giving more attention to the falling bricks. But as Newswatch 16's Kathi Belich says, often those officials come up against a brick wall.
About a week ago, a very old building in downtown Scranton, the VFW building, collapsed during morning rush hour. A couple of days later, the building next door went down. City engineer Ron Belinsky says he's been tied up with lots of emergencies lately, but the collapses downtown have opened his eyes to a serious problem that he and other city officials now plan to pay more attention to.
Because of the magnitude of buildings that we have out there, I would also like to have some independent engineers bid on making proposals to us in actually going out there and making reports on some of these buildings.
But once Belinsky gets downtown inspections going, it doesn't necessarily mean that the dangerous buildings will come down right away.
When there's large amounts of money involved, there are a number of other parties that have to be dealt with, and conflicting opinions from engineers, and that causes in a lot of instances the expeditious fixing of buildings or tearing buildings down to be halted.
Scranton's Director of Inspections, Terry Gallagher, uses the Miller Building downtown as an example. It was devoured by fire in June of 1983. Gallagher says the building should come down, but 1 year later, insurance companies are still haggling over saving it. So now the question is, when will building inspectors go through the downtown buildings to decide whether they should stay where they are the way they are? Well, we came here to City Hall for the last few days to ask the mayor that question, but Mayor James McNulty's secretary told us each time we stopped here that he had not been in the office, she did not know whether he would be in the office, and she did not know how to get in touch with him. The question remains unanswered. Kathi Belich, Newswatch 16, Scranton.
There was a big surprise this morning for some people who live in Dunmore. Newswatch 16's Marisa Burke says the hubbub was over a visitor who came in from the woods.
Straub Street in Dunmore had all the commotion of a three-ring circus this morning. However, this time the ringleader was this fella, an 80-pound black bear. He was found perched in this tree located in Robin Lutchko's backyard, and at 6:30 in the morning you could say it was a startling way to begin the day.
Well, I came outside with my father, and he told me there was a bear in the tree. So I went over in our garden, and I looked up, and there was this humongous bear. And I tried to take a few pictures, and he was just growling at me, so I ran back in the house.
The careful guard continued through the morning hours while the neighbors waited for the game warden. All the attention didn't seem to faze the bear. In fact, he had time for a little shut-eye. After his nap, the animal made his way down the tree and continued his curious stroll through other neighbors' yards, and then up another tree. This time, a police officer tried to keep the bear in the tree by spraying water on him. By now, the critter was attracting quite a crowd. The ordeal came to an end when an official from the Naog Zoo arrived with his tranquilizer gun, and then the bear came down for good.
Watch it, watch it!
The bear wasn't hurt from the fall, just a little drowsy. Zoo officials say there's really no control over the wild bears. The drugged animal was finally taken to the Game Commission, where he's being watched for injuries before they release him into the woods. Marisa Burke, Newswatch 16, Dunmore.
Newswatch 16 continues with the story of friends and neighbors coming to the aid of an infant in need.
And we'll show you how you can help other kids who are facing medical problems.
Plus, later on, Mike Stevens will take us on the Pennsylvania Road.
Tonight, we'll visit a man who keeps an age-old craft alive.
You're invited to join WNEP TV and the Children's Hospital at Gesinger Medical Center for the Children's Miracle Network Telethon. Miss Judy and your favorite WNEP personalities will join Marie Osmond, John Schneider, along with great entertainers in an exciting telethon to help children from all over our area. You're also invited to the Children's Miracle Carnival on Sunday at Gesinger Medical Center in Danville. Food and fun for the whole family. So help make a miracle happen right here on WNEP 16.
As we said earlier, motorists in Allentown, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh must now pay $5 to get an air pollution check on their automobiles because it's the law. Newswatch 16's Bob Costantini has more now from Lehigh County.
This 1972 car is in for its annual state inspection, but because the owner lives here in Whitehall, outside of Allentown, the car also gets a computerized exhaust emissions test. A special probe goes into the tailpipe, testing levels of environmentally damaging hydrocarbons and choking carbon monoxide. For this just-tuned car,
both of them pass. Here's your limits, and this is what it actually is. So you can see there's quite a difference there. So there shows you what a tune-up can do.
Results are printed out and a sticker goes on the front windshield. The test costs $5. A late model car comes in for its exhaust test, but owner Jenny Busey thinks the idea won't cut down on pollution much.
Industry and what else pollutes the air? Look at our waters and things like that. So, I mean, I don't know if this is such a big factor.
The Busey car passes also. If a car fails,
first, then we look to see whether any pollution devices of any sort that were originally put on the car have been tampered with or taken off. If that's the case, then they have to put it all back.
Lynn figures 1 in 10 cars won't pass the first time. If you live in the Allentown areas of Lehigh or Northampton counties, you have to have this exhaust emission inspection done by the same time that you also have to have your state inspection done. Bob Costantini, Newswatch 16, Whitehall, Lehigh County.
The weekend telethon that will benefit a lot of children and the Children's Hospital at Gesinger Medical Center is just about ready to roll. Crews from the Danville Hospital and from WNEP TV were hard at work all day today getting ready for the 9 o'clock start tomorrow night. The 21-hour telethon will also feature on Sunday Miss Judy's Carnival outside on the hospital grounds. You're welcome to visit it in Danville. It starts at 10 a.m. Sunday. Skycam 16 will be flying in Jimmy Osmond from the Singing Osmond family for the carnival. He'll be signing autographs for the visitors. Of course, you'll see many top recording stars and actors on the nationally televised telethon, including Marie Osmond, Marilyn McCoo, Merlin Olsen, and John Schneider. WNEP personalities will be appearing on our local segments every hour from Saturday night through to Sunday afternoon. All funds raised from the Children's Miracle Network Telethon here in Northeast and Central Pennsylvania will stay here to help Gesinger's Children's Hospital. And our chief meteorologist, Tom Clark, is coming up next with the forecast.
And since we're all going to be at the carnival and the telethon and hopefully a lot of other people, we want some good weather, Tom.
The last thing I want to do is predict rain.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll have the picture when we come back.
Would you like to know what Miss Judy, Marie Osmond, and John Schneider all have in common?
We're all part of a very special team that's out to help the kids of northeastern and central Pennsylvania lead healthy and happy lives.
It's the Children's Miracle Network Telethon to benefit the Children's Hospital at Gesinger Medical Center.
It'll be broadcast live right here on WNEP TV, Channel 16. But remember, 100% of the money that is raised in northeastern and central Pennsylvania is going to stay right here.
Join us and
make a miracle happen.
Well, let's get the word on the weekend. Yep. How's it look, Tom?
Okay, it's upon us, Karen. I'm all set to go. We have a nice cool breeze outside now. Let's take a look at the temperature as it stands. It's very, very comfortable. Close to 70 in most counties of Pennsylvania now. In this backyard, it's 69. The humidity is 46%. That's okay. The wind northwest at 10. And gusty, barometer falling. Air quality index good in both Wilkes-Barre and Scranton today. Anything less than 50 is good quality air. don't worry about that barometer falling for now. Today, 69 is the high so far, 42 the low last night. There was some frost. There was some frost in some of the valleys last night. Record high 93, the record low. It was a frosty, cold morning back on this date in 1924. A signature of today's wind out there in Moreland Township in Lycoming County, the grass. Now there's a Newswatch 16 color satellite picture showing some clouds still over New England. They've had 6 to 10 inches of rain up there the past few days, causing some of the worst flooding on record. And still some rain showers linger up in Boston and parts of Maine. Now look at this line out here. That is a front moving east. It's going to get here on Sunday, and with it our next chance for some scattered showers on Sunday. That line will be moving through, though, and will not stall, so things looking pretty good over the next couple of days, but again, that does pose a small problem for Sunday. Now here's the forecast for tonight. The stars will come out after sunset. Temperatures getting down into the 40s tonight, but I don't expect any frost. Towanda, Mayfield, the Lee Park section of Hanover Township, 45. Girardville and Williamsport, about 42 the low tonight. Now for tomorrow, well, you deserve it. A beautiful day. Blue sky, bright sunshine, very comfortable afternoon temperatures. Montrose 73, Old Forge about 76, Shawnee, Tamaqua, and in Danville 77 the high tomorrow. And the telethon gets underway at 9 o'clock tomorrow night, and you can see it live here on Channel 16. Hughesville about 77 tomorrow, a northwest wind at 15 miles per hour in the afternoon. The Health Watch reflecting the normal temperatures for this time of year and comfortable humidities. Okay, sunrise and sunset. There it is, at 5:33, and sunset tomorrow at 8:30 in the p.m. A clear night tonight. Now, having eclipsed the sun, the moon is now far enough away from the sun to cast a thin crescent in the western sky this evening. Look for it. 45 the low. A nice day tomorrow, beautiful 76. Sunday, partly sunny. Okay, there may be a thunder shower in some areas, but it may not even rain down in Danville. 78 the high, getting up to near 80 again by the middle of next week. Joe Zone is in the Miracle Mile on Sunday, and he told me he ran 2 miles today. So I guess he's ready.
He doesn't want to run in the rain either, so watch it.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Tom. And Joe and the rest of the sports department are getting ready for a big weekend.
2 days full of boxing, basketball, and a live report from some baseball playoffs. Sports is next.
Boom Boom Mancini won the WBA lightweight title with power and non-stop attack. He'll put that crown on the line in his 5th title defense as he takes on the dangerous #1 contender, Livingstone Bramble. This could be Mancini's toughest test. Plus, Johnny Bump City Bumpus will defend his WBA junior welterweight title against hard-punching Gene Mad Dog Hatcher. It's all live tonight at 8:30 right here only on WNEP TV 16.
Well, as Tom Clark told you, with our Children's Miracle Telethon on the air this weekend, one of the things to look forward to is the Miracle Mile run at Gesinger Hospital, and our own Joe Zone will be leading that mile-long run, as well as participating in it. Today, we found Joe tuning up by running 2 miles with some pals from Scranton Elementary School. They were all part of the Scranton Principals Challenge. It provides various track events for Scranton Elementary Schools.
And, of course, Joe will be wearing number 16 in that mile run. Here you go. Good luck to you.
Thank you. We're still looking for some people to join us. All you got to do is come down on Sunday morning, sign up, and join us for the Miracle Run. Remember, it's for a good cause, and maybe you can come to Danville, and maybe I'll make the whole thing. Okay, let's talk baseball. Slowly but surely, they're getting these baseball games played right now. Mid-Valley and GAR going at it for the District 2 AA Championship. The score is GAR 6, Mid-Valley 2. They're in the 5th. Coughlin and Hanover playing right now. Coughlin leading 2-1 after 4 innings. A lot of people tonight going to be watching the American League East. The Tigers are finished for a while with the have-nots in the West, so tonight they begin an Eastern swing starting with the Orioles. It's reality time for the overrated Tigers and their fans. Well, in a few hours it'll be time for Friday Night at the Fights here on 16. Ray Boom Boom Mancini against Livingstone Bramble. Mancini today weighed in 3 ounces over the 135-pound limit. 10 minutes later, he came back and made the limit. It's quite a diet. Bramble weighed in on time at 134.5. Mancini, the WBA lightweight champ, he's 29-1, 23 knockouts. Bramble is ranked number 1 by the WBA. He's 21-1 with 13 knockouts. Now, it's Mancini's 5th defense. He says he's smarter, more disciplined. I think he's going to have to go the distance tonight to squeak out a close decision over Bramble. And by the way, Johnny Bumpus and Gene Hatcher will go in the first fight on that doubleheader, and you can see it here live on 16 beginning at 8:30. Okay, listen to this. The Larry Holmes-Jerry Coetzee fight is back on again. They've signed letters of intent for a fight. They had a contract and couldn't pull it off. August 17th in Las Vegas. Sounds familiar somehow, doesn't it? They are not formal contracts yet, says promoter Bob Aaron, but they do expect everything to be finalized early next week. I know I was supposed to be watching the best teams in the NBA last night, but I'll tell you what, the Lakers down the stretch played like some bad college teams I've seen. Lakers led by 2. With 20 seconds left, they had the ball. They were golden until the schoolyard pass was intercepted by Gerald Henderson. He scored to tie the game. Then with 13 seconds left, another chance to win. Magic Johnson sat on the ball. He didn't pass, didn't shoot. Where was his head at? The game tied. Regulation. Celtics go on, won by 3 in overtime. Lakers should be up 2-0 instead. It's all even. More of the same today at the French Open, and that is good news for Americans. Martina Navratilova continues to roll today against Marie-Christine Kalja, a 6-1, 6-3 winner. Watch the rally here. You know, Martina lost here a year ago, her only loss in '83, and she's determined to win it. Now watch this. There's the little dink. Goodbye. History, folks. That's how good she is. John Mack also won again today. He beat Mel Purcell, the final 6-4, 6-4, 6-1. That's all of it. Give tonight your best shot. See 11 highlights of the Phillies game, highlights of today's high school baseball, highlights of the fight. The highlights are here, folks.
We can't miss it. Thanks,
yeah,
Joe.
That fight should be a good one, too.
And Mike Stevens will be taking us on the Pennsylvania Road next.
We'll see a craftsman who splits wood to make things of beauty and practicality. That's next as Newswatch 16 continues.
WNEP is proud to present the Children's Miracle Network Telethon to benefit the Children's Hospital at the Gesinger Medical Center in Danville.
We'll be teaming up with national hosts Marie Osmond, John Snyder, along with other great entertainers.
We invite you to help make a miracle happen.
We also invite you to come to Gesinger on Sunday at 10 for the Children's Miracle Carnival.
Join the NEP team for the Children's Miracle Network Telethon tomorrow night at 9 on WNEP TV 16.
And this just in, about 5:30, it happened this afternoon in South Scranton, a power failure. PP&L tells us about 900 residents of South Scranton have been without power, and the reason for it was a circuit breaker opened up and shut off the electricity. They have those things out there at PP&L too, I guess, just like my house. We are now told that most of those customers now have their power restored.
Good, because they can watch this last story. Once in a while, our man on the Pennsylvania Road, Mike Stevens, likes to let us know that the good old days aren't dead yet. Tonight he finds them alive and well in Pike County.
100 years ago, when our great-great-grandparents wanted a good oak basket, they'd start from scratch. They'd split that good, fresh, white oak log. Then Grandpa would whack that log down a little more, and it would get smaller and smaller.
As you put down that log, that's what just follows the natural grain of the wood, and you don't get pieces that are splintery and will break.
And if Grandpa wanted a nice basket, well, he'd make it just like Darrell Araujo does in his Bushkill shop. Slowly making that log smaller, splitting it some more, finer and finer, till it's almost ready to weave.
When you shave them down and smooth them out with your knife, they get silky smooth and almost like leather. You can bend them in any direction and they'll be really strong.
These oak strips don't look much like the log they came from, smooth and shiny as they are, but they are perfect now for Darrell, just waiting to be woven into a checkerboard tapestry.
Sometimes you need to just go with the flow and let it take the shape that it wants to take, and very often that's better.
The men who made stone walls, it said, never picked up a stone they wouldn't use. Darrell might have been a good stonemason.
50 years from now and 100 years from now, people are going to look at it and know it was mine, whether my name's on it or not. That's what's really important to me.
And it's important, too, to Darrell Araujo that this old way never die, and that all which goes with it lives on.
I mean, look at that. I bet there isn't another one of those in the country. And I'm only proud of some of them. So what's this one called now?
I asked Darrell how he wanted to be remembered, since he will live on in his work, his white oak baskets.
Mine have to work. And if 100 years from now it's still there, somebody says his baskets worked, that's good enough for me, because I work hard to make them work.
Grandma and Grandpa would have liked Darrell's work, I think. I'm Mike Stevens, Newswatch 16 on the Pennsylvania Road in Bushkill.
Mike's report worked, too.
Yeah,
Isn't
sure
nice?
did.
That is Newswatch 16 for a Friday.
Be sure to join us tonight on The Update, when we'll tell you how you can shop out of a catalog for gifts for an area city.
For the team, thank you for joining us.
Enjoy your evening.